Hello, and
Hello.
welcome to Black Dragon Roleplay, where we are not professional voice actors, we are not gaming gods, we're just a group of friends that have been brought together through the love of story who want to share our tabletop adventures with all of you. Before we start our session proper, we are so glad that you are here watching us live on Twitch. We are so appreciative of all the support, especially the past couple of weeks, with all the donations, all the follows, all the bits, everyone that's been watching with us. We appreciate all the support that we've been having here. If you are new here and you want to keep up with the campaign, please drop us a follow. If you'd like to support us, then there is a subscribe button. Drop your prime for sub for some emotes. Support the stream any way that you wish. We do greatly appreciate everyone who does that. We have a YouTube. We have social media. We have Discord. We have our personal links. All of this and more can be found in the info boxes below, so go ahead and check those out. We play D&D every Friday, as it is right now, but we also play video games on this channel and do other things. You can join us this Tuesday, sometimes a little bit more than Tuesdays, but Tuesday for sure, Thumper the Moose, aka Tuesday nights, where we play through Xbox Game Pass, game by game, and host that somebody from Microsoft stumbles upon a stream and buys us for $67 billion. We've been playing Stellaris. We've been appreciating the company of Yumi and Aaron, and playing a very extended game, which has been fun. That's a space colonization and domination resource type game. It's been a lot of fun. So check out those streams. We are now on episode 41. Did you check that, Ryan? I think we had a talkie episode.
Yeah, I think you were right.
Yeah, no.
We're at 41 now.
Yeah, this is episode 41 of this campaign, so if you have missed anything or would like to watch the show from the beginning, please take a look at our YouTube page. All of our previous sessions are eventually posted there within the week or two. Please join us on YouTube. Click the like button, click to subscribe, and don't forget to feed the dragon.
Never gets old.
Let's get into our action tonight with our intro. Ryan, take it away.
Yay, intro.
Old.
Over there.
Okay. For our recap, episode 40, The Puppet Has a Tantrum. As our party finds themselves transported quickly from the cavernous dwelling high atop Mount Titan Crest to the dense jungle of the Sladir Forest, Camiel realizes how much has changed from the last time she was here. This specifically was once her home, but now the only a lone tree carving of her name remains in the massive mangrove tree that used to house her nest and belongings. The team rests and settles in after a massive day. Bran, far too exhausted to cook again for the second time, distributes some sausage and apples to the crew before he tries to unwind in his tent. Right, Bran? Emmy volunteers for the first watch, and decides to have a few conversations. First with Professor Vormund, her sentient orb, and then with a bigger wild card, Moontree, the sentient puppet. At first, Moontree was his familiar, inquisitive self, but soon his curiosity and patience were tested as Emmy refused to help him immediately talk to Bran. He began getting more and more upset soon enough demanded, with the aid of a charm spell, that Emmy give him to Bran right away. As Boltzmann was still fiddling with a project, he sees Emmy with a puppet and proceeds to alert the entire camp of this predicament. As Emily stumbles to clarify why or what she intends to do with Bran, everyone is awakened. Saoirse quickly takes control of the situation by sneaking up on Emmy and swiftly removing the puppet from her hand. As Boltzmann threatens to burn the puppet over the fire, Emmy reveals that the puppet is most likely Goldenhammer's son, whose essence was transferred into the puppet for some undisclosed reason. As tensions fall, the night. Dante, on volunteer third watch, hears a rustling, first on one side of the camp and then the other. Confused on where this noise is coming from, a very quick female tabaxi catches Dante off guard with a rapier against his side. After a quick conversation, it turns out that the scout does not wish the camp harm. She wants Dante and the awakened Saoirse to alert the camp of the danger and come with her to a safer location. As the party stirs, Amiel notices a very familiar design on the feline necklace. A river stone carved with a celestial root. The one she knows only as her name, and the others know as the Guardian. And that is where we left off. You guys are still here in the forest. Just probably only an hour, or I would say maybe 2 hours before dawn. This Tabaxi figure has kind of gathered into camp with you guys. Camille, are you here?
Yes, I'm here.
There you are. You do get that. You do figure out, and you do see this necklace that is around this figure's neck, and you see that it is your name.
May I ask if this is something that she may be very familiar with? I don't want to drop any hints here for the others.
The rock itself, it looks insignificant. Mm-hmm. The carving on the rock is definitely what you recognize as your name.
Okay, got it. It's fucking weird. Sorry. She will look at this Tabaxi intruder in quotes, and sees her name on the necklace, the chosen necklace. She just stands there and freezes, and she reaches behind her to see if Bran had followed right behind her or not.
Out of the tent.
Oh, absolutely, definitely.
Okay.
Bran is not. Yeah, he's not in his plate armor yet. Obviously, as they just woke up, but he would have had his shield and warhammer ready.
His underwear, right?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Of course, Dante had to ask that.
Just making sure.
So she'll grab onto anything behind her just so she could get Ranomir's attention.
This place is not safe. We need to move. Please pack up your things. We will move to safety soon. As soon as you are ready.
I'm sorry. Who are you?
My name is Abira. I am a scout. Please, we can discuss this later. We need to pack up.
Right. And she looks around to everyone else. She's weirded out a little bit. But she's panic looking at everyone else. What is everyone else doing?
Well, kind of looking to you, because this is your terrain, your area, your expertise. But he's still keeping his eye on the Tabaxi, debating whether he should try to stab her in the face or not, while intrigued at how good she is. but he'll take direction from you if you think it's a good idea.
So she will look at Dante, who is standing there, cool, calm, and collected as per usual, and
bleeding down his side.
She didn't.
As per usual?
You said she stabbed. You said she stabbed him in the back.
No. She put her rapier up against you. She did not stab.
Yeah.
She didn't.
Oh,
she
I
didn't
heard-
stab
As a
you.
warning.
I heard stab.
Like a tap.
I'm going back to the boat.
She poked you. She was simply threatening.
And Camille will just kind of make a gesture with her right hand, her free right hand, to sort of like fanning, as if to tell him to just calm down a little, because she doesn't know this person is, she doesn't know what's going on, so she just doesn't want to jump to conclusions just yet.
Is everyone awake now? Like everyone's aware? Or did y'all not warn everyone
It
yet?
should be. I think Serge.
Yeah, and especially you'd be alerted by now.
Okay.
Either through your spell in the right spot, your alarm spell, or it's the noise in the camp.
Okay. If Emmy is watching this interaction, that they seem very focused on Kamael and then getting out of here, does she also notice that the stones are the same? Like the symbol on the stone is the same?
Roll a perception.
First roll of the night. Have we technically received a long rest, or was our rest interrupted?
I will say that for the sake of everything, between all the rest that you've had, yeah, we'll complete the full rest at this point.
Okay, cool.
Hey.
14.
Okay. No, you do not notice the specific. You do see the figure in camp, large tabaxi with the rapier, not being threatening to anyone at this point. Had already dropped it once Dante was a little bit more understanding and listening, and dropped it as you kind of backed into camp, looking around her on the exterior.
Then Emmy would offer, just as the tension is slowly settling, but she would offer, well, if none of us have been here, and she's like in like her night scarf and like, and she says, well, if none of us have been here in a while, and clearly they have, and they know there's danger about, perhaps moving positions is not the worst idea. Yawn.
Right. She looks at the tabaxi, then kind of nods. All right. I guess we move.
It's your lives. I could leave. Fine. It's your decision.
No, it's just I'm a little confused. And she pauses.
There is a danger. There's a large beast that is on the road. It's been near here. Attacked a village. We leave. You're here.
What kind of beast?
Very large lizard of types.
A lizard.
Not a dragon. Like a big lizard.
There are debates being had on the highest levels to determine exactly what this is. But yes, not a dragon.
Is it nearby?
It's in the air. It's not here at the moment, but we've been tracking. It's been a ways away. It seems to be coming this direction.
Well, that's new. When I was here, there didn't seem to be any danger. Well, she kind of pauses. I mean, animals, lizards, no such thing.
Should we?
She does try to take a look. She looks at you kind of like almost kind of squinty eyed. Like she doesn't. Just saying that you're from here gives her pause. Question. But she doesn't act on it or anything like that. Simply takes a second and takes a beat to look at you and scan you closer.
I mean, I'm happy to move, but should we have a look? Maybe we can help. We have one of the best trackers, and he points to Sersha.
I am not willing to be the fighting. We have other people for that who are already on their way. I would rather just get to safety. Plus, being here, I think the seer will have questions about how you came to this place, specifically. Like,
Right. And she looks at everyone else and just basically encourages them to start moving because she wants to know more information because this is new to her.
did you say you were from here? She looks
Yes. Yes. And she wrings her hands a little bit as if unsure if she should say anything, but she clears her throat and looks at Vera, I think her name was, and she says, "Yes, I lived here. The big tree. There used to be a big nest, and now it's gone. That's where I slept, and this is where I put all my trinkets, and it's gone, and many other things."
She freezes when you say that. It's Abria. She freezes when you say that. She begins staring at you. Her eyes very confused. You live
Today,
here, in this place.
yes, and she runs up to the tree, and she points at all the little doodles and the symbols. This I made this years ago. This is my tree.
I want to see. Okay. Her eyes are kind of focusing in disbelief. Please, come with me. Zoya will need to speak to you. Please.
Right, or I suppose.
Yes, Zoya. She stops herself from asking a question.
Mhm.
Are you guys packing up, or what are you guys doing?
Yeah, I'm packing up to leave.
Yeah.
Once
If
Camille
that's what's agreed upon.
seems to want to go, then yeah, he'll help pack down.
Yeah, and Saoirse would have been packing up while all of that was going on.
I was gonna say the same, but I didn't think I could listen and pack as far as Emmy was concerned, because she's gonna like quick touch ups, and then like still has her scarf now like around both her it's around her hair, more like a shawl, and sort of hanging over her face a little bit, but like she's mostly intact for sure.
Okay, so as you guys pack up your belongings, clear camp, making sure that when you guys kind of begin to move out a little bit, the Baxi kind of goes and touches up some of the places, kind of dismantles the fire even more than what you guys have done, kind of taking out everything, and moving everything, cleaning up camp as much as possible, kind of following you guys out. As you guys begin to walk in the jungle, in this jungle forest area, she leads the way. but then very quickly you see her kind of move to the front and make sure everyone's going in the right direction, and then kind of slow down a little bit, move towards the back, be very scouting around. At one point on the walk, she stops, tells everyone to pause. You see her run off into the distance through the tree line because she had heard something and run basically in one direction very, very quickly, and given a moment or two, and then came back to the group and moves the group on. You also see as she's walking, on times where she's not focusing on what's around her, you see her kind of grab her necklace, kind of looking a little bit of puzzlement at what she's thinking about as she continues to walk forward. You get probably no more than 30 minutes away from where you were, and you seemingly come to this unpassable area of very dense vegetation, almost like a wall of trees and vine and underbrush. It's so thick that even though it looks to be all organic, you can tell that it looks unnatural as well. Everything there is organic, but it looks almost constructed in the way that it is. Everyone gives me a perception check.
Hmm.
26.
See?
Libin.
Wait. Sorry. Perception. Okay. 20.
Bran is somewhat distracted, but most of everyone else.
Damn skeeters.
You can see that this is not a man-made in the way that a fence or a wall would be constructed, but it looks as if nature itself has been sculpted in a way that it's creating a secure barrier. This was something intentionally created to protect whatever's on the other side. You see Abria. She stops at this organic wall, makes a small and clear feline roar, and once then repeats it a second time, a matching tone to the first. After a moment passes, you don't see anything, but you hear rustling on the other side, and then a voice call out, "The night is dark, but clear. How does it meet you?" Bria calls back, "Trees wait for the golden sun to rise again." A moment passes, and then a rustling of leaves again, loudly, as if the green carpet of organic material begins to separate and peels back, rolling in on itself behind the wall, slowly revealing this opening about 10 feet by 10 feet. And through the opening, you see a small village built among the trees. Next to the now parted wall are 3 men, different size, different race, one with his hand on the side of the tree. As he touches it, you can see this arcane energy. You can see it kind of faintly traced between the tree and the parting wall. Abria leads you forward and into the small hidden village. You can hear the carpet of trees and organic material kind of part back together and close behind you. There are this small hidden village you're walking into. There are magically casted lights all pointing down along the concealment, allowing for concealment from above, while still illuminating the stone path that kind of leads you from the organic wall into the village. The village is not very large by any means. You see only probably a dozen, maybe a little bit more buildings. There are smaller dwelling areas towards the outside, and then there are a few larger structures toward the village's center. Bree leads you towards the center town and stops you and says, "Wait, I will talk to Zoya. She will want to speak to all of you." As you kind of look around the town center, she kind of disappears into one of the buildings. This place, it looks built mostly out of all natural materials. The workmanship is not perfect, but it's very good for a village of this size. The look and feel is somewhere between Rivendell and Ewok Village. It's a lot of elevated structures, mostly open air. In the center of town is a very large tree. It looks very familiar to the one that Camiel called home. Different, but similar in type and nature and size. It's the focal point of this village and has a fountain built around its exterior. And then lights hanging down from its branches that light up the village center, very soft glowing way. So much so that when you were outside, you did not notice the interior glow. For anyone that rolled that 20, so Dante, anybody else?
Cameo.
Mm-hmm.
Cameo, you also noticed that in the center of the tree, there is a carving, slightly white glowing, the same symbol that was on your tree as well.
It just sort of looks at Cameo with a question mark over his head. It doesn't really, just goes back to keeping an eye out and sort of sussing out the village itself.
Camiel's expression is just absolutely bewildered and very confused. So her eyes are darting around and she sees the symbol again, and she kind of looks to everyone else with the slow turn of her head, and then she does a bit of a shrug, like even she's just as confused as everyone else is.
Okay. There's a few moments that pass. After a moment, Bria comes back out of one of the places, one of the town, the building, and tells you to follow along. The place that she brings you to is up on a higher level, but it's still all open air. There's a roof covering most of this place, but it looks like almost like a large meeting room, almost like a formal living area with chairs set up around the outside, but no single set of chairs separating like a throne or specialized in any way. All kind of in front of you now are two people that you've not seen yet. See a male, half orc, probably late 20s or so, slightly green skin, outfit very close to what Abria is wearing, but more put on at the last second. And strapped to his back, he has a very large battle axe. The person that stands in front of you takes a step forward and kind of slowly takes a small bow at the waist. A human, female, 30 years old or so, very thin frame. She's wearing a white robe with green fabric trim. And she has a large staff with a green piece of jade that sits on the top. A small etching of the same symbol that you've seen before. Good evening. My name is Zoya. I am a founder of this village and one of its protectors. This is Rock, my husband. And roll a perception check. Check her out and surround.
Perception. Oh, that's terrible. 5. Not 1.
You are fully engraced with this woman. You don't notice anything around. Please, for both of our protections, whomever will speak for this group, step into the circle. And she taps the staff down onto the ground, and a golden circle appears about 15 feet, 30 feet wide. As a token of trust, I will do the same. You've seen this before. She casts Zone of Truth. She asks whoever is going to speak for the group to step forward.
Of course, Camiel will look to everyone else and give them a curt nod. And she moves into the circle.
Thank you for your trust. Tell me, who are you? Who are your friends? What are your names?
I'm Camiel. Everyone else here, you'd see Branimir, Dante, Siersha, Boltzmann, and MEV.
What brought you here? How did you get past our scouts in the outer Sladir?
Well, um, we used a portal to uh bring me or us here in Sladir in, well, my previous home.
The place that you were is your home? Was your home?
The big tree with
Yes.
the now, there used to be a nest there and trinkets.
She raises one arm, pointing to behind her, and you see a bookcase. There's bookcases all around, but this one specifically, it catches your eyes. And then, on second glance, you realize exactly what it is. Baubles, rocks, shiny objects, things brought in from the forest, from the realms of men. Meaningless, really, except for you. These are yours. These are your collection from the nest that disappeared.
What? Why?
These,
Why?
these are yours?
Yes. As a matter of fact, and she scratches her chin as if to she's a little embarrassed as she says, the symbols that you have on your trees and your necklaces, um it's my name. It's written. It's my name.
You see a stern look from her. You see her processing. You see her looking at the ground, looking at the zone of truth, looking at you, and not believing what she's hearing. Do you know of the Khan?
The what?
The Khan.
The Khan? She tilts her head, very bird-like, and blinks. What do you mean, the Khan?
When did you last leave your home?
Is it a long time ago? 23 years ago.
You see her face lighten.
What's
Her eyes
going on?
go big. You can almost see tears welling in her face. She collects herself. When my younger sister, Zinnia, and I were captured by the Khan, I thought both of our lives were over. They were a sinister group that stole children, women, men, all to sell to fulfill to the craving of horrible, evil, vile men. When my sister escaped, I had a glimmer of hope. But over the days and weeks after she left, hope left. It was routine that the majority of the Khans would go out hunting once a month. As we awaited our fates, we found comfort in knowing that the worst of the worst would be gone for a few days as they satisfied their lust with wild game and endless vices. The day after they left, I had a dream. Flashes. My missing sister. Broken, abused again. The hands of the Khan. But then flashes of blood. Feathers. And fire. In the moonlight. At first, I thought what was left of my imagination was simply playing tricks on me. But after it stuck with me, I knew in my gut that something had happened. I became ill. The few remaining Khans got worried a day or two later. 9 days later, reports came back that the rest of the Khans, including the leader, were murdered in cold blood. The remaining Khans were scared. One of them suggested that they kill us all and run. Another more firmly was scared of the fate and the karma that would thrust squarely on his head. He stood up, threw the keys of our cells in our direction, and walked out of the room with the others soon following. None of us had family. None of us had anything. Being escaped slaves in a big city would only bring attention. Attention of others about our desperate nature. So I led the group. I knew where the hunting cabin was because I was once brought there with them. Party favor, as they called it. We, and she reaches out and touches rock, needed to see with our own eyes their fate. Perhaps it would temper our nightmares, seeing them no longer existing on this mortal plane. I found the bodies scattered throughout the forest, the birds and the animals already making meals of them. I found the cabin, and I burnt it to the ground, leaving nothing but memories of the savage Khan. I found the bloody rock pile that someone had lovingly covered and protected my sister with. I found the symbol of the guardian, and vowed to become a protector. I found her things, and I kept them, hoping one day that they would return. Glory be to Mother All, the guardian has returned.
Oh.
Camiel listens to all of this, and there's a variety of expressions flashing across her face. One of shock and fear and disgust, and when she finally says the glory be line, she takes a step back and another step back and then another. And she squints her eyes at the woman and she says, You're Bluebell's sister.
Bluebell?
She loved bluebells. She would go into the deepest parts of the forest, and those were the only flowers she picked, and she didn't tell me her name. So I named her Bluebell. And I buried her. Mm, she looks at everyone else. And then back at the woman. I'm sorry. I failed your sister.
You can't be blamed for what the Khans did. There were many before her. She was just the last. That's why we take up arms. That's why we plot. That's why we move forward. Everyone who started this place was with me from the cells. We started working together to protect ourselves, but more importantly, protect those who need it most.
Where is she? You took the rocks and the trinkets and the nest, and did you take her and bury her somewhere else?
The tree in the center of town. She was buried there.
Oh. I didn't come back to be worshipped. This was my home, and I left it, and it's done. Me and my friends here are just passing through.
You see her face somewhat change. She still has a smile, but it is tempered slightly. I understand. Well, it is late now. It is nearly dawn. You should rest, all of you. We can discuss things in the morning, more thoroughly. Yeah.
Oh, nothing.
If you wish, we have a place for all of you tonight. We will prepare a breakfast tomorrow for a welcome gift.
Oh, there's no need for that.
Please, rest. And then she calls Abria back. She steps out of the circle. She has she definitely still has a smile on her face, knowing that her visions or her hope was not dashed. She takes what you said gracefully, but tell that it did affect her somewhat. But she still smiles. She bows again as you guys are kind of assisted out of the room. Bria leads you back to a large cabin-like structure that's on the outskirts, where you guys are given places. The fairly large open space, open living area in the base and the bottom, and then an upstairs place where there are beds set up for. There's 6 beds set up on the upstairs.
Well, that was strange.
Right, strange.
Would you like to elaborate at all? I mean,
I didn't want to come here and have to tell the whole story. We were just passing through.
okay. You don't have to say anything if you don't want to.
At her own pace.
I think that Miss Zoya said plenty.
That's only half the story.
Well, now you're just teasing us, Cam.
I
And
don't
she's like,
mean
she gives her like a small smile, but like lifts her hands up, you know, in like surrender.
Camiel is beginning to pace now. Still wringing her hands. And stops and turns to look at them. I didn't want to come back here. But it appears that the gods will not stop fucking with me.
Well, we're not
20
staying long.
It's weird. They have my name all over. It's on river rocks. Rocks that I so fondly would collect. It's the only thing that I could look at that glimmered. What if you came home one day and found these new inhabitants with your name just plastered everywhere like a poster, and speak of you like you're some sort of deity, some god, some protector I murdered? I don't deserve such a thing.
Maybe you don't give yourself enough credit. Even just helping one person could mean the world, clearly. And she sort of like indicates out towards, where they were.
I didn't help anyone. She died. Because I was too weak. I'm just gonna go back to sleep. And she turns around just as her face begins to falter. And her brows furrow. She doesn't want to cry or show any sort of hurt emotions. So she just turns around and just finds a spot and unfurls her wings to cover herself in.
Anybody else doing anything?
Are we in an actual, we're in like a building?
Yeah, it's a cabin. There's a upstairs and downstairs. Downstairs is almost like a living area, small eating area, and then upstairs is like one big open space, but with 6 beds, all the same. There's space between them. It's a fairly large building. There's 6 beds up there, all open.
Well, Emmy will take her stuff and she says, probably fair enough we all get some rest before this adventure continues. At least we've got a safe place to be. And she'll start heading upstairs.
I suppose we can assume it's safe, but I think I'll stay down here and watch the door throughout the night.
I can do an
How
alarm
late?
spell.
An alarm spell.
Mm.
Feel free. I still feel comfortable. I'll stay down here and just keep an eye on the door.
Fair enough. She won't do the spell. She'll just go upstairs.
Anybody else?
Bran, did you say something?
No, I was just gonna ask, how late into the night is it? Or, well, not. Is it night?
Well, it's just barely night. It's the sun is about ready to pop at any moment. It's getting close to morning.
Okay.
Your rest has been broken multiple times at this point.
Yeah. Would you say that my restriction over my cooking is available for today?
Yes.
Just making sure. Because I want to see if I can make something while everyone else is either resting up or keeping watch over the cabin? Does it seem like there's an appropriate kind of cooking area, or would you have to assemble that?
Yeah, in the cabin there is a small, nothing elaborate.
Ooh.
There is like a almost like a potbelly stove.
Okay. Yeah. I will attempt to make something, if that's alright. Sorry, Moose, what was that? It's
Yeah, that's
kind of
fine.
hard to hear you.
All
Okay.
right.
I will be making some potato kielbasa. Let's see here. Yeah. Let me see.
Bran kills me with this every Friday.
I know.
Except for last Friday.
Keep doing this. Except for last Friday.
Right, restrictions.
Oh my god, yes, 16. Yes.
Yep.
Ooh, right on the money. Okay.
So Dante, as you your passive is your passive, whatever. As Bran is stirring in the kitchen and kind of you're halfway sleeping in the downstairs area, you do notice that you take a glance outside. There's 2 front windows. You do notice that the tabaxi is stationed outside, seemingly up against a tree, and a nearby tree kind of posted up, just kind of monitoring the doors. And then as the morning progresses, the sun begins to rise. People begin to stir around the village. You notice that people coming to the door. It starts with you see a woman about 30s, human, long blonde hair, carrying a small dish. Doesn't knock on the door. Doesn't proceed to interfere in any way, but does put a dish on this like patio that's right outside the front door.
Okay.
And you see this multiplied a few times. By the time everyone else upstairs begins to awaken later in the morning, 9 or so, you have half a dozen dishes of food that are now prepared outside, as well as Bran's cooking. There seems to be an abundance of things. Messages have gotten around, and now people are interested and wanting to pay tribute.
Is Bran downstairs cooking, like where he is?
Yeah,
where
could
Dante
be.
is.
Yep.
While Bran's cooking, Dante just be sort of like he'll walk over to the window at some point and just sort of hand on the windowsill, sort of looking out, watching these people do this, and he'll sort of turn to Bran and say, "Well, your cooking is going to smash this, Bran, but there seems to be a little excess this morning." And he'll sort of like look out the window and indicate out the window. And once there's nobody there, he'll actually go out and start grabbing it and pulling it inside. Can't let this go to waste.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Bran will
Like-
walk over to the window to
There's like 3 casserole dishes that you kind of bring in, that size pots, and you put it on the table. They're steaming hot, all fresh. Some have like a breakfast casserole, eggs. One has oatmeal and kind of mixed in with fresh berries and fruits. Whole spattering. There's a basket of bread that was brought, and you bring in. One is just a container of like sweet meats, glazed kind of meats that have been warmed. Bring in a plethora of items. By 9 o'clock or so, 6 or 7 dishes have been brought in of people paying tribute.
Dante has the biggest smile on his face as he's bringing these in.
So Bran will go out to look out the window and to see what Dante was gesturing outside, and his brows will kind of furrow a bit as he sees this stack of food that is being delivered to the doorstep, and he lets out a very low hum as he looks over at the potato kielbasa that's actually looking pretty good. And he starts to collect bowls. As Dante is bringing in the other
Tribute.
offerings. Yeah, the tribute. Brand will start pouring some of the kielbasa into the bowls, and he'll eventually step outside.
Okay.
Trying to see if he can find any form of life out there, or if they've scurried back.
If it is the tabaxi still in the tree?
Yeah. Bria's leaned up against the tree. She has leaned far back against the tree. It almost looks as if she's sleeping, but she's there.
If
I can tell you she's not sleeping. She's kind of pacing, rolling her rapier around in her fingers.
If Bran didn't notice her, he'll point her out. But if she's not trying to hide, I assume he'll notice her when he steps outside.
Yeah, you would notice.
We'll start with yours first, Bran, but we can't let this go to waste.
Bran actually turns back to Dante. I was thinking more we do an exchange.
But kielbasa.
Yeah, but it's better to have the offerings that they generously contributed. More than willing to trade for it.
Dante looks like he's going to argue, or at least, but he won't say anything. He'll just, okay, fine.
And Bran will gesture with a steaming bowl over to the tabaxi that's in the tree. I don't know if she'll notice, but he'll still make the gesture.
Let's see. That's a D10. I can't roll it.
He'll go door to door if he has to.
No, the tabaxi sees you. The tabaxi does not get up though. Tabaxi definitely sees you. Just kind of salutes a little bit over, but does not. If you gesture to like a bowl, she kind of puts her hand up and waves you off.
Well, I guess with that, Bran will kind of scan the surroundings and try to see if there's any other locals, or at least particularly the ones that...
Coming down the path is an elderly woman, and she's holding... she looks quite small. She looks almost maybe dwarfish or halfling. And she's carrying a large like jug. It's like a glass jug, and it seems to have some sort of colored water juice in it. And she's kind of carrying it up towards the steps. Oh, hi. My apologies. This is for you? This is for the Guardian? She holds it up towards you on top of as she doesn't dare step on the steps, but she kind of holds it up to you as if you're like on the patio. Tries to give it to you, present it to you.
Yeah, I think Bran would have met her halfway as soon as he saw her, and try to, without really asking permission, he'd help with the jug and definitely replace it with a bowl of kielbasa for herself.
Oh, this is not necessary. This is, please eat. No, please. I have my own food. I'm okay. This is too much.
I'd feel awful.
Thank you. And she stops and pauses and bows her head and takes it and looks at it. Thank you. Yeah. You gonna try to read her? Roll an insight check. See what she thinks.
Okay. Actually, yeah. Let's see here. That's not bad, kielbasa. That just barely meets the... Wait. Insight. There it is. Oh, okay. 13.
Yeah, she looks okay with it. She's not overwhelmed by it.
Yeah.
Like, thank you.
Bran will add with a bit of a smile. If you have any others, please send them our way. Be more than happy to trade for them.
You are far too kind and generous. Here, thank you. She bows her head and kind of walks backward for a step as she bows and then turns around and moves quickly away.
I guess seeing her scurry away, Bran would kind of furrow his brows again, seeing how strange the people are acting, and he'll take the jug and I guess he'll lower it so that he can sniff it. What exactly is in the jug?
You smell it? What was your last perception check?
Well, that was a while ago.
That was a while ago. Roll another one. Sure, why not?
Oh God, no.
Ooh.
Wow.
Hey,
This is exactly what you want to use your nat 20 on. It's a very...
right?
Fucking hell.
It
Love
smells like a sweeter juice. It's definitely a juice. It's thicker like a juice, not instead of water. It smells very sweet. It reminds you of some of the flavors that you had previously in Ujat. Not quite, no coconuts or anything like that, but definitely like a citrusy juice.
It's not the cocoa nut.
No, not the coconut.
Well, with that, Bran would smile to himself and return to the cabin to, I guess, return the jug alongside the other, probably the mountain of tributes at this point that Dante is most likely guarding / eating.
Collecting.
He's already dug in.
Just sort
Yeah,
of
he's like half of it is gone already.
taste testing. His first disciple. He has to make sure everything's okay.
First disciple.
Oh my god.
Somebody gets it.
It's all right. I won't bother you with the money. We just keep all the food for you and any of the dirty books they give us.
But yeah, Bran will place the jug near Dante.
Ooh.
Well, this is interesting.
He's sort of peering into the jug. What is it?
Why don't you try it?
Where is everybody? Come on, we have to start.
Actually, yeah.
Are he, is he
Anybody
shouting
else
up?
looking
Yes.
Actually,
And he's been
before
awake.
that- Actually, before we get any deeper into that,
Roll a constitution.
no.
Yes.
Use all your hair.
Well,
What?
not you. Saoirse. As you go upstairs to rest again, are you there, Saoirse?
Yeah, I'm still here. I was just
Okay.
listening.
Just
Yeah.
checking. As you kind of go up to this unfamiliar place, you're definitely happy to be out of the cold, out of the mountains. And earlier in the day, the night came and quickly, because it's such a long day, you fell asleep really easily. Now, as you go upstairs to these beds, and your thoughts kind of begin to creep in. The last observation that you saw before leaving the shrine was one of your mother going off in the direction of Aura. The thoughts that kind of rage around this, kind of the dangers that might be lying ahead for your mother and for your sister, kind of overwhelm you. You got to see Aura with your own eyes, and you've seen that it's become this wasteland of darkness, all with the Shadow Queen as its focal point. As your mind kind of shifts between consciousness and unconsciousness here in this upstairs, this cabin, you find yourself in a previous battle. You feel the cold as the snow swirls around you. You instinctually... Hold on one second. You feel the cold as the snow swirls around you, and you instinctually run and slide behind a fallen tree. You pause for a moment with your back pressed up against it firmly. A huge roar comes from the other side. You pop up your head and you see the Titan that you had previously defeated only a day or so ago, charging towards you. Its location is still 100 yards away. You grip your bow in your hand. You fire two arrows, but both fly astray, do not hit their target. You stand and run as the Titan begins to close the gap. You find a tree line and attempt to cover and hide. As you do, the Titan runs past, but no more than 3 or 4 steps before stopping. All of the empty faces around its torso begin scanning and spelling the air, and suddenly its body turns. First its torso, then its head. Suddenly it looks directly at you. It grabs you, and you struggle against its grip as its hand tightens around you, seemingly sized 2 or 3 times than it actually was, but here in this unconscious state, it grabs you completely, begins picking you up. You struggle to free your hand, and you reach to your back, and you pull out your sword, and you swing at the wrist of the giant, but it finds no real purchase. You stab down at the giant's hand, but it does not pierce the creature's thick hide. You begin to panic when you see something else. Out of the corner of your eye, a figure stepping out of the blinding snow that surrounds you. Her red leather hood, flowing burgundy hair stands familiar. The Titan freezes in place with a wave of her hand, its mouth open wide enough to swallow you whole. With its grip still holding you firmly, the figure flies up to meet you. And if it was not obvious before, it is now. Her face, that once was nearly perfect, protected porcelain skin, so much like your mother's, is now dingy tones of gray. Her eyes, once bluish hazel tones like your own, now stark and glowing green. But other than these changes, the same Bryn that you've always known. Same overdramatic mannerisms that ticked you off as a child, the same spoiled brat purse of her lips as she begins to speak softly. It's a shame that Mother never gave you the credit you deserved. You've grown into something quite lovely. Your figure, your skills with weapons, your ability to simply survive any situation. It's quite remarkable. She just stands and smiles at you.
Well, I should say the same of you. Father never gave you the credit. But perhaps you can help me out of this jam?
Oh, in due time. I know you resented me because of my special treatment, especially with Mother, but I never asked for it. She simply saw more of herself in me and saw more of Dad in you. Sister.
Well,
go ahead.
yes. No. Well, Mother is on her way to help you now.
Unfortunate.
I saw the letter. What have you done to yourself?
I've simply grown. Evolved. Sister, why are you fighting for the losing team? My Dark Queen holds no grudges. You and me fighting together again could be something. Not forced like before. Not because Mom and Dad made us, but because we see the beauty in each other's abilities and know the sacrifice that we've both made to be here.
Yes, we've made sacrifices. But I guess I see something in this world worth protecting, rather than throwing it away.
One's man's trash. Sister, come to Aura. Find me. Bryn snaps her fingers. In an instant, the storm instantly rages, blinding you with white, surrounding you completely. The Titan is instantly gone, and you begin falling into the storm before awakening, right where you woke up, right where you fell asleep.
Yeah, and her mind will be racing, trying to figure out, if that was just her imagination or if Bryn was really there, somehow reaching out to her.
And as the rest of you awaken, the day is yours.
Everybody come eat the food.
Actually, why don't we take our first break and look at the time? Let's take our first break, and then we'll come back and see what's happening in this new day. Before we go, I want to say thank you for Sallybot Station. Subscribe for 1 month. Thank you very much, Sallybot Radio. She was a new follow yesterday, watching us play Stellaris, and followed and subscribed today. And then yesterday when we were playing the Big Juicy, resubscribed for 1 month. So Juicy and Sallybot, thank you very much for the support. We love everyone here. Thank you for being here. We're gonna take a quick 10-minute break, just so that we can go to the bathroom, get some water, do what we need to do, and then come back and finish up our story. That sound good?
Sounds good.
All right. So the day begins. Everyone is awakened. It's fairly late in the morning. Make sure everyone gets their full rest completely in. After multiple breaks for multiple reasons. The day is yours. What are you guys doing? You guys have a plethora of food downstairs, and are now in this new village that thinks very highly of your paladin.
At this point, Dante is like Goku style eating downstairs. He's like shoveling food into his mouth. You guys, you should really go and check this out.
Camiel actually wakes up to all of the noise Dante is making, and she stretches along with her wings, and she just drags her wings behind her, like kind of limply, because she's exhausted. And she looks around, she sees nothing but food, and her eyes widen. Like, Branimir, you overdid yourself. This is too much.
Rand points at the pot and just gestures. This is mine. The rest of that is, well, it's tribute.
It's yours, Emmy. It's yours, Camiel. It's yours. Yeah, I'm around a mouthful of food.
Tribute? But what?
I'll make a lot of noise in the morning. And Emmy comes downstairs, and she's got her grimoire in one hand, like her stuff is still up there. She's all, she's dressed in, her I guess more nature appropriate travel clothes, with her hair is pulled up in the scarf and all done up. She's definitely much more done up than when they arrived. And she also sees the feast, and she immediately looks at Branimir like, you outdid yourselves. Someone's more excited than the villagers are.
Again, not mine.
There's Emmy's.
Oh.
Fuck, I did it again. It's Camiel's. It's Camiel's. Oh my, that's so nice.
Well, Camiel blinks and looks at Emmy. Food?
Plenty.
Right. Branimir, what did you cook?
Well, he gestures to his potato kielbasa. I made some of this, but I've mostly been preparing bowls for the other tributers that might come by. Doesn't sit right with me to have all this tribute be not reciprocated in some way.
So you're telling me that the people gave us all of this food?
Every few minutes, yeah.
I think
That's outrageous.
I think they gave you the food, Camille.
Why, I'm one person. I don't have the stomach of a dandy.
Do we have to start bowing now? And he sort of looks around, like, do we have to bow and treat you?
Don't do
Like a high
that.
priest? Like a
You
high
bow
priest?
to no one.
No. I'm already uncomfortable as it is.
Well, clearly, either they intended for you to eat this over time and stay a while, which we already know you are not totally interested in doing, or they brought enough for you and your friends. And it certainly wouldn't be kind to have such an offering or such a sharing go to waste.
You just
The
had-
least we could do is
you
have a
just had
little.
You just had to correct yourself, huh?
Would
Kind
you
of
rather or not? Mm-hmm.
Dante's pushing some food over towards you guys, like, try this. This is nice. This is really nice.
I'll have half and half. I'll just have this bread right here, and I'll have what Branimir cooked, and I'll figure out what to do the rest of the morning. Where's the Ursha?
She was still. I think she was still sleeping when I came downstairs.
Yeah, she would be just sitting up in bed right now, still thinking about that dream she had.
Saoirse's usually the first one up.
True.
That is true.
Should one of us go check on her? Actually, never mind. I'll do it myself. And she takes like a whole bunch of food and a bowl of kielbasa and
Are you gonna
trudges.
pull an anime girl trope and you're gonna put the bread in your mouth?
As you run up.
Yeah, a whole loaf of bread, like the
Yes, a
French
whole loaf of bread.
She looks like a dog that just fetched a fucking stick. Goes up the stairs, and approaches. See, is it a room?
Yeah, it's one big open room. It's almost like it's a cabin, so it almost looks like a camp-like setting. So there's like 6 beds that are up
Okay.
against each, 3 on both sides.
All right. So she spots the Ursha and goes,
What was that? Saoirse would just look at Camiel with the bread stick sticking out of her mouth.
Huh? She walks up to her and hands over some food
Oh,
and
thank
a
you.
bowl of kielbasa.
I see Bran outdid himself, or is this the food that we were told would be brought?
Apparently these people decided to feed us. So here you go. And some special kielbasa from Branimir himself. Looks really delicious. And she cuts or tears the bread in half and hands it over to Saoirse. You're not usually up this late.
No, I just think being woken up in the middle of the night just kind of threw me for a loop, and it was relaxing being in a bed for the first time in a while.
Camille just stares at her. Can I roll for something here? An insight check, perhaps?
Yeah, that's fine.
Let's see. Insight.
I'll let you roll a deception there, Saoirse.
Fucking
Of
hell.
course, yeah.
You
the one
made
Never
an
mind.
active. Oh, that's a 4.
I don't know. I've got a -1 modifier for
Oh.
charisma, so
All right.
I've got a
Battle
-1 modifier for deception.
Oh, there
Nope.
you go.
Well,
God damn it, Saoirse.
Not this time.
You
Damn it.
you have no clue. Anything is wrong.
Food is too good.
All right. And
That bread roll.
She just shrugs and just nods at the food. Well, you've got all the food. If you want to join us downstairs, that'll be great.
Yeah, I think that'd be nice. Yeah, let's head downstairs.
Right. Well, I want to get out of here as soon as possible.
Yeah, we probably shouldn't stick around too long. We have enough on our plates with more artifacts to find.
That's what we're here for.
And then Saoirse would just follow Camiel down.
And as you're going down the stairs towards the bottom, you hear a knock at the door. There's no curtains or anything, but you do see Zoya when you get down to the bottom level. You can see that Zoya is standing out front.
Yes?
Yes. I was wondering, Kimia, if I could request a private conversation.
Sure. And she's holding her own bowl of kielbasa and a big chunk of bread. Mind if I eat and go with you?
I could come back if you're busy, or sure, you could bring it with. No problem.
No, it's it's fine. And she turns to look at everyone else.
Just take it with you. Dante's just looking at you like, what are you doing? Just take it.
Would you like some kielbasa?
Oh,
Bran actually
no,
is gonna offer the bowl.
No, thank you. We had prepared a breakfast, but it seems seems after word broke out last night, the villagers have been quite busy here. They did this on their own volition. We had a breakfast prepared, but it seems that you are all taken care of in that department.
Right. Shall we go then?
Sure, please.
She
And,
looks at Bran and kind of furrows her brow and wiggles her nose and turns around, goes with.
And she begins. The village is almost like circular. So she begins. There's a path that kind of leads around this outer circle, around to these where the basically where the houses are set up around of all the different villagers. The place that you're in now is one of the bigger ones. Nothing. Everything is a little bit smaller than what you're in. And as you kind of walk around, she kind of guides you around this outer path. I must say, I'm almost starstruck walking here with the guardian.
And she has like a mouthful of soup and bread.
I have to ask, if you did not return or were not aware of us, which I guess is reasonable, why did you come?
Well, she wipes the corner of her mouth. We're in search of an artifact. Supposedly, it's close here. It's by a temple, if I'm correct. It's at the temple, right?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Temple of the Makers. Southeast of Slideer Forest. And you tell her that. Interesting. I'm not aware of any temple. Do you know where it's at? Specifically?
It's supposed to be... It's supposed to be south of here.
Interesting. Well, I'm not aware of any, but if you need help along your way, perhaps you can talk to Maximilian. He's a trader that's worked with us in the past. Who's here? He's one of the ones that is tracking the very large predator that's been tormenting the wildlife and even ourselves. He knows these lands even better than Rock and myself.
And she's still eating, smacking her lips. I do have a quick question, if
Yes.
you don't mind me.
Of course.
You called them the Khan, right? The slavers.
Yes.
What
Was it-
happened of them? What are they still active? Are they still alive? Should I do something about that?
No. You took care of most of them. The others, when they found out about the demise of their friends, scattered. There's other groups similar, but they were gone relatively easily. It is our job to be able to find groups like that and do similar. We have established operations in Kupal, Zayas, Gordon, currently all working to sabotage current factions there. Here we hide and conceal our identities and makes it easier for life there.
So, you're telling me that you and every other child that was taken in by the stags, by the Khans, you built all of this, and she waves her spoon around, in a span of 20 some odd years.
Yes. We call ourselves the children of the broken chains.
Broken chains.
So that we remember where we came from, what our beginnings were.
All right. Well, at least they're gone.
Yes. The Khan are gone. There are more like them. And that is our prerogative now.
And what of their bodies?
The Khan?
Yeah, she glances over at her, and she's a little more serious now.
I
Did
let them
you-
rot.
Huh.
Right where they were.
They're still hanging in the trees where I left them.
Oh, nature's taking care of that.
Good. And of the wolves?
Are you asking what happened to the wolves, or are you asking if the
Mhm.
wolves took care of them?
The wolves, yeah, the wolves themselves. She's asking if they are safe.
The wolves exist, coexist with us. We've never had issue.
Good. You'll have to forgive me. I did not intend to come here and almost steal everyone's food. I didn't come here to be praised, or you have to understand I was a child, and this is overwhelming.
I know you must have something that you are doing now with these people. You're looking for your relic. I don't know your history. But I know these people are here. I know that you've inspired them. You're the original. You're set the example. Taking down the con. We've just been trying to fill your boots while you were away.
She pauses and purses her lips a little. Thinks for a moment and looks at her. What are you expecting me to come back and stay?
That would be the dream. Or my hope, at least.
She lowers her head and smiles.
As the guardian, it would be your duty. You're blessed by the Mother above to be here with us, to help us complete the mission you started. These people need a leader beyond me. We currently have a foothold, but for to grow, fully take control and see the end of these vile men once and for all, they need someone stronger than I. They need a warrior, a guardian. You, by every definition, fit that. She kind of looks at your plate armor and your wings.
See, if you met me a few months ago, I would have said something different. I would have lied and said that I'll be back. But there are things that call for immediate attention. And if we were to take down every slaver, every stag, we would be fighting against the world. I don't know if my place is here.
Well, I've already improved from the response I got last night. That's all I can ask.
Okay, well, now to some pressing facts about the artifacts.
Mhm.
Facts. It rhymed. You said that there is someone that we may have immediate help with for this temple.
Yes. We have a trader/scout that has worked with us in the past. He's here. He's been trying to track our very large invasive predator that's been roaming and actually attacked the city not a few days ago. Let me go find him, and I'll have him go to you, if that's okay.
Sure. Yes, please. The rest of my party needs to hear of this as well. It's
Okay.
very important.
Sure.
Right.
And perhaps he was recruiting to be able to help. Perhaps. Well, I'll have him explain. I'll have him join you in a moment. Thank you very much for this. It's been my pleasure.
And it has been mine. Thank you.
You're very welcome. She takes a soft bow and moves towards the inner rings as you find yourself back at the guest house that you're staying at.
Well, is everyone else full?
I think I ate more than I should have. That was really good. And she's leaned against the wall with her grimoires like on her stomach, and she's just kind of leaning back, like her eyes are half closed. I didn't intend on that. Oops.
You would have noticed Cam and I'll say with passive Dante and maybe Saoirse. The Tabaxi is still outside. The Abria is still outside, leaning up against a tree. But she also has a few people with her now. There are a few townsfolk that are now sitting and kind of watching with her as she just kind of sits and watches. But she has company now as well, kind of watching your door.
A little update. It seems that we have someone in particular that can help us find this temple and the artifact.
Well, that's handy.
I know.
Lucky
How do they know this?
There is someone who knows this place better than I. I mostly stayed within Sladir and found my way to the Temple of the Sisters. So I unfortunately don't know this other temple, but another one does. And after speaking with the tabaxi outside, it seems that this one will suffice.
What stopped them from plundering it?
Plundering is something that they don't do. If I have gathered all the information that I think I have with these people who claim me as some sort of deity. And she says that with a twitch of the corner of her lip.
This is out of character, but isn't this Maximilian person a traitor from the outside? So, like, not of the...
Correct.
These people. So, yeah. Like, I think that's what Brand's trying to say, is that it's not a part of this group. He's up from the outside, and what's stopping him from plundering?
I see, okay.
A titan, Bran. A titan.
Did she say that...
there's another one?
Probably.
I think Zoya said that we had brought him in. He was hired.
Yeah. So he's from the outside. He's not of this particular group.
Yeah, it was someone that they had... she said that they had grown to trust.
Well, it's better than nothing. And if it gets us there...
doesn't hurt.
Yeah, if it gets us there, that's good.
A less amount of time wandering in the forest with no idea where we're going and stepping over trees and bugs and all that nonsense definitely sounds good to me. Oh, I ate too much. Oh, hold on.
Damn skeeters.
Skeeters?
Skeeters?
Too many damn mosquitoes in Nujat.
There's too many mosquitoes everywhere you go, Branimir.
I love you, Bran.
Y'all got a problem. I'm telling you, back in Patrium, there were no such thing as mosquitoes.
Except in the marshlands.
I found that hard
There were
to
no
believe.
mosquitoes over there, Dante. Not like this.
In some of
telling
the low situated towns, when they had malaria, yeah, there were mosquitoes there as well.
No such thing.
Almost fairly certain Valencia had, like, there was one of the areas down near the docks that was covered in mosquitoes.
You're just pulling my leg at this point, Dante.
You'll never know.
Oh, he wishes.
In all my years, I do not recall as many mosquitoes as there are here.
Well, they do say when you start getting a certain age, you forget a lot of things.
That's rich coming from an elf.
I'm still a baby.
Claire
Do you
left.
think they have undead mosquitoes in Aura?
Probably.
Brand just like almost spits out like they're.
Ghoul skeetos.
Wait,
It's
can necromancy be carried through mosquitoes?
They're all blood hunters.
Oh, that's
Jesus.
fascinating. And she writes something down in her grimoire.
Vampiric mosquitoes.
Don't write it down. That's not even real.
So
You just
instead
never
of growing fangs, people just start growing proboscis out of their.
Ugh. Or they just start rotting. Rotting away. You don't know why.
Okay. Anyway.
Smallest little
You started
pinprick.
this.
Well, I started this with a little bit of wholesome mosquito moments and
Mosquito
It's
Oh,
banter.
listen, all. I 100% view this as in character.
You've never seen a sturge, have
the
you,
concept.
Bran?
Seen a lot of things,
It's
Dante.
like a giant mosquito.
Mosquitoes and Patrium are not one of them.
Yeah, well.
While the boys are
two-
bantering... Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say while the boys were bantering, Emmy was trying to flag down Kemiel and have her like come over, almost like a wink, like girl talk. Have her come over her.
Oh my god.
Shut
While
up.
the boys are going back and forth, she does she does say to Kemiel in a lower voice, I know that all this is clearly real uncomfortable for you. And I don't think any of us walked in expecting them to start worshiping you or nothing. But I do mean what I said. That even if you helped one person, and even if you only helped them for a little while, it very well could mean the world to them. I wouldn't be so quick to push away their thankfulness.
Camille looks away and like wrinkles her nose, just in deep thought. The tiny little creaky cogs are spinning. I'll keep that in mind. It's just that I only helped her for a few weeks or so before they did what they did.
And I've had people who've only helped me for days. Still meant the world to me.
It's not important anymore. At least not to me, to these people. Apparently it's everything.
Well, I hope you won't forget that you did help. And it's never gonna feel like enough to us. But you did.
They were thinking I'd stay.
Forever?
As long as I live, I suppose.
Well, that can't happen because we kind of have dibs on you.
I'm not an object.
No, just our leader.
Oh, alright. You bury your nose back in your book and shut up.
Fine. As a party member, someone traveling with us, we got you first.
I still don't belong to anyone, but thank you.
As far as I see it, you're still willing to come with us before you stay here.
I'll think about it on the way. It's a long journey. And who knows, I may not come out of this adventure alive.
Well, she looks over back at Dante, and then back at Kemiel and says, I think your disciple's gonna make sure you stay alive.
Camille just grits her teeth and just forces a smile.
I'm only kidding.
Right. Because Dante was doing that to me. And it stopped. And this is going to set him off again, and I'm going to lose my fucking mind.
So bash him in the head with your hammer. Sometimes I
I
think he deserves it.
It's alright, I'll strangle him in his sleep.
Ooh, he might like that though.
Ooh, what a fun way to go then.
Can I hear any of this?
No, you don't.
As the conversation about vampiric mosquitoes winds to an end, Emmy just leans back again, and she goes back into her grimoire. Which, if Cam is sitting next to her, she'd probably see that there's it's both the grimoire and there is a smaller book tucked underneath it. Like that's actually like inside. To which Emmy just kind of slides it aside like quickly beside her and then goes back to her actual grimoire notes.
Camiel will not say a word. She's not actually looking into her grimoire only because she's too scared to, because she doesn't quite understand what a grimoire is. So she'll just look at everyone else still bickering about mosquitoes and the existence of it. And she stands and walks over to them. Well, they're waiting for us outside, so what I want to hear your thoughts. What do you guys think?
Well, what if we're planning on leaving? I don't feel there's any reason to really worry about it unless you're concerned. But I think the sooner we're gone, the better. I mean, I like the food, but I don't think I can stand all the bowing and scraping I'm going to have to do.
Don't. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it.
You
What?
called it.
Don't. But
Brandon-
I would like your.
Bran will get
opinions.
jealous. Bran will get jealous because they're going to keep giving you food and he won't be able to cook.
Don't tell them I said anything, but I prefer Branimir's cooking.
Oh, I do too, but it's plenty of it, so can't turn down free food.
You have eaten quite a portion. You're happier now.
Thinking, I think I wouldn't mind maybe a little bit more later. Give it an hour.
Oh, bless whoever marries you.
Maybe a jog. That might.
You guys hear a knock at the door.
Okay, well, I'll go get that. And Camiel walks up to the door and looks over at them.
You look out the glass window of the door, and you see standing in front of you a half elf. Just looks in, gives you kind of a wave, gives you kind of a smirk. Kind of reminds you of a certain.
Bran.
Mm-hmm. There's two of them now. Shit.
Guess it's an elf thing.
Clear indicator.
You open the door.
Yes, she opens the door. And
Hey, how's it going? Yeah,
That was not what I was expecting.
Maximilian Powers. How are you doing? How you doing? How's it going?
Someone's been practicing.
Oh yes.
You're anxious out of the
Oh no!
Sorry, hang on.
Does he have a knife? Does he have a knife on him?
Look like him too?
Ooh.
He's not as pretty as Dante.
Ah. Still, elves are pretty.
Half elf.
Yeah.
Somewhat, David Bowie kind of a thing going on, but definitely more, a little bit more rugged than that. Has seen some exposure to the sun, so a little bit more ruddy skin. He walks in. How's it going? These blokes out there seem to have a thing for you, mate. What are you guys doing? He looks around at all the food and takes a look at outside. Now there's probably half a dozen people standing around with the tabaxi just looking inside. And as soon as any of your gazes meet from the front out to them, they kind of turn their heads and look different ways, trying to avoid eye contact.
Camille closes the door. And she looks at Maximilian, looks him up and down, and then looks at Dante. And looks back at him. Well, my name is Camille. And, sorry.
Yeah, Zoya already told me a little bit about you. That's quite a thing. Yeah, quite a thing. Said you got some questions.
You must be Dante's brother. Bran like hides this shit-eating grin on his face as he looks from Dante to Maximilian. He's stifling a very boisterous laugh.
I don't sound like him.
No, you don't. He's so much better than me.
I've read this book before, The Twin Hot Brothers. Oh my.
Oh my god.
Two naked cowboys.
Yeah, we have a half elf with us. Not as pretty as you, unfortunately.
Yeah, not many are there. You said Zoya said you had a question, though.
Well, we are on our the reason as to why we are here is because we are on our way to the temple. North from here. Are you familiar?
You mean south?
South. Yeah. Sorry, I just heard the gods speak to me. It's south.
Temple. What kind of temple?
I'm not too sure.
Well, yeah, no, I reckon I spend more in these parts than damn near anybody. I've been looking for something. I might be able to help, but I don't remember. I've heard of a temple.
They said that you knew these parts a little more better.
Well, I just don't know. Is there a name?
Is there a name?
Temple of the
Temple.
Makers.
Temple of the Makers.
God damn it! I need my notes. Yeah.
And he offers.
Yeah. She will.
He's talking to everybody in the room, so.
Mm-hmm.
Observing
Nah,
this,
never heard of a Shrine of the Makers. Is there something you're looking for specifically?
Can we trust you?
What's not to trust?
You're a half elf. We don't trust Dante. How can we trust you? You're not
Yeah.
even right.
That's fair.
Right.
That's fair.
Excuse me. Just because I'm not a half elf.
She kind of looks at Dante and just winks at him. Just.
Racial profiling, mate. It happens all the time.
Quite
It
you.
happens to me too.
Racial profiling, even though brings out an Australian accent for another half elf.
Let's just keep him
See,
talking, guys.
If we were big as Critical Role, we've canceled already.
Yep.
Let's keep going.
Yeah.
man.
What about just someone who knows the generalized area better? And then once we get to the specific area where we know the temple to be, then we'd at least get there a little safer.
Well, are you looking for somebody at the temple? Or are you looking for something at the temple? What are you looking for? I keep going somehow Australian to
Something.
yeah, something
Your
really
Call of
bad.
Cthulhu character.
I know exactly. It's
Use guys.
Branimir's. It's Branimir's radio personality.
Well, I never.
But I never.
That's what Australians used to say.
That's the biggest sneeze. Sorry.
Camille actually looks at him, and she's a little more serious now. And she raises her chin, folds her arms, and just eyes him. Do you know the temple or not, or are you going to waste our time?
I simply have never heard of the Temple of the Makers.
She looks at everyone else, as if to ask, if it's okay to tell him about the artifact.
Just need. Are there any locations of importance that nobody knows about to the south
Like a
of
ruin
us?
of some sort.
Yes. Guarded by maybe a giant creature, Titan.
May or may not.
Big scary thing.
I'm hunting a big scary thing right now, but not a Titan. Big bloody big boy lizard is what I'm dealing with. Heaps good reward too.
May I ask where you think this lizard may have come from? I forgot to ask completely.
Well, it's not quite what I've dealt with in the past. seems to be a little different. It seems, you know how I'm half elf, right? I think this may be half lizard. Maybe one of those Tyrannosaurus Rex.
A Tyrannosaurus. What?
Well, half.
A dino what?
What is the other half?
Well, from all we can tell, dragon.
All the way here in Sladir?
Well, what I believe to happen is, have you ever heard of a fella named Maltuk?
Oh, I know him very well.
Sure.
Well, he seems to be getting around. Sowing his wild oats.
Sorry. Have you ever tracked it? Where does it come from, or does it just come and go? Do you know
Have
where
no
it comes
clue where
from?
it came from, but it's around here now. Zoya's paying me to get it out of here. A few days ago, it's been roaming around ever since. It damn near took a youngin' from the village. So now we're trying to make sure it doesn't come back.
That means a nest might be nearby if it's parking itself here.
Yeah, it could just be pissed off roaming around, too.
Either a nest, or it may have come from that temple? And she kind of looks at everyone else.
Emmy shrugs. That was my thought. Maybe we were lucky and it's nesting right by the temple. Who knows?
Well, let's go have a chat to it.
Listen, I'll tell you what. If you guys want to come with me, Zoya's paying me money to make sure it gets out of here. I'll split that with you, but I'll also be able to, I'll go with you. Wherever you need to go, help you look for this temple you're looking for.
Well, the catch here is that we already have a real good tracker, so I suppose the question would be, what is the contribution? If you don't know where the temple is already, do you know the area better, where our temple might be?
There's very few people that know this place better than I do.
But you've never seen this temple.
Never seen a temple.
Maybe because it's not above ground. Maybe it's under.
Oh, no.
Are there any monoliths or unusual places in this area?
Well, you seem to be sitting in one of them. But
I'm sorry?
Dante's looking at you like he just wants to tell you to go somewhere.
no, the village. Not many people know about this place. I've traded here before. I've done some work. I know Zoya. We met in the field actually, and we got to know each other, and that's why I'm welcome here. At least most of the time. That's how I was invited back here. Well, you know, things happen, but
Things happen.
well, there was a Sheila. There was an issue. It was all. We worked everything out.
Do I want to know? I'm
Probably not.
Oh my.
Dante, why don't you say that?
Dante,
Funny word.
Dante rolled his eyes. I have no idea where this fellow
You need
is
to say
from.
that more.
A
Sheila.
Sheila?
Yeah. Don't ask.
I've never heard that
I'm
word
all over the
before.
place with this one.
Funny word.
You're a funny word, Bran.
Now you know why I asked.
Dante,
know.
are you upset?
I just want to do something.
Yeah, sounds
Yeah,
like
well,
this is
food?
an
Is there
awkward
more
encounter.
there's more food. I'll eat more food. I
With a
don't
bit
know.
of luck, we could be having some giant iguana on the Barbie soon. Come sundown, cracking a few cold ones, working on work on finding a kind-hearted Sheila that'll let me in a knickers. By the end of the day, let's go.
Thumper Knox is now leaving officially.
This is our goodbye to Dante episode.
I really think I think I'm just gonna strike out on my own, go back to my own channel, and just
This is what breaks Dante. This is the
contemplate
deal breaker.
world. I'm taking Dante with me, and we're gonna go strike out on our own.
This is the deal breaker.
All right. Well, are you sure you haven't done any stupid thing around these people that I should know about?
Nothing that wasn't already forgiven.
They are so easy to forgive. I'm not.
Not really.
Ah, well, great. All right, everyone else comfortable with this?
Dante.
We already took on one.
We don't know where we're going otherwise. I say the more the merrier.
Dante, what say you?
Just stick some more stew in his mouth. I don't know. As long as we
He
get there
loves
and
it. See, it's perfect.
let me kill something. Just
What about you, Boltzmann?
Boltzmann.
Indubitably, I believe this is the best option.
Indubitably. Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
Make me lose all my players tonight, Brand. Thanks.
And what have you, Sasha?
Brand
What
wants a new
say
campaign.
you?
He wants a new campaign, new characters.
Right?
I don't think Boltzmann has ever said indubitably before, but anyway.
Indubitably.
Yeah.
He has now. It's canon.
I'm gonna tell him to say it more often now.
Yep. This is tagline.
If this gets us what we need, may as well.
All right.
And we're helping.
Dersha?
Well, if it helps the village, and like Dante said, if it gets us what we need.
As long as he doesn't get in your way, I suppose.
Get in our way.
Well, I was mostly referring to Saoirse's tracking.
And Saoirse, you remember from the night before taking your watch. You remember feeling, hearing something far off in the distance, and hearing and doing a primal awareness and noticing something that you were unaware of, but you felt its presence, but not as full and strong. And as soon as he says part dragon, part T-Rex, it kind of clicks in your head that may have been.
Yeah. Oh. 2 trackers are better than 1.
All right. Well, it's about settles it.
Well, you ready now, or you need to do anything before we go?
I do need to do something real quick, if you don't mind.
Sure.
All right. I'll be right back. Just have a wee chat with our friend Dante over there. He's looking a little lonely.
Do you know your father?
Me?
God, whoa. Damn. Well, let's pull out the fucking couch
Or your
over
mother?
here.
Wait, I'll be honest.
And he almost spits up on the piece on the next spoonful of the
This is-
of the
What
potato.
is your
chip it has.
relationship
This is
with
what
your
he's.
mom?
This is what he's saying is like Kevin Lee. He's like, my mother's actually from Ujet.
What the fuck?
Do you know her? Do you know your mother?
Fucking way.
Never know.
Mom. Yeah. I know my mom. Of course.
What does she do?
Oh, she's a mom. You know, moms. They do mom stuff.
I can't. And he just goes off and sits in the corner.
No!
Okay. Camille will leave. God damn it. Camille will leave, and she'll look for. I'm sorry, I keep forgetting her name. The
Zoya.
Tabaxi.
Oh, the
Zoya?
Tabaxi.
Yeah.
The tabaxi is named Abria, which is right
Abria.
across the way from you, right across the path. But she's leaning up against a tree now, standing. She has a crowd of people, of almost 6 people around her, and as soon as you walk towards her, those six people just kind of scatter in all directions.
Scatter! Camille approaches Abria, and she she looks at her, looks at everyone else who's leaving, and she clears her throat. I forgot to ask earlier.
Yes.
Before we do go, do you mind leading me to Bluebell's grave?
Are you talking of oh, now I missed it. Zoya's sister, Xenia?
Yes. Was she left back at the
No, she was brought here. And she leads you to the center ring of this village, and around this very large fountain around the outside with the tree kind of in the middle. The fountain is almost like a ring. It doesn't completely cover where the tree is. It's just like a ring around the outside of this tree, protecting the kind of making it the actual ground underneath this tree inaccessible. You see the tree, and it's very much like your tree, where it has very long roots that almost elevate the tree, almost like a mangrove roots that are being pushed into the ground and lifting the actual base of the tree off the ground. So you do see, green grass and almost like flowers that have been set up around. It looks very much like a not specifically. It's not marked specifically as a grave site, but there are flowers that are surrounding it. You do actually see a multitude of different flowers, but you do see bluebells within the group.
Camille will look at Abria and approach the gravesite. And she looks around at the flowers, almost as if she is entranced by them, to see such a multitude of flowers just grow or just be within the area. And she'll kneel down in front of the grave, and she'll reach towards it and plant her hand on top of it. And she'll just mutter some words under her breath, something quiet, more like a private conversation. And afterwards, she'll spread her wings and reach over to her left wing and pluck out a feather, one of the longer feathers, and places it on top of the grave. And she looks at it for a bit. And she'll whisper, this time a little more audibly. You're safe now. And even though I have failed you, you're safe here. I'll see you again in another life, little one. Now you can rest. And she gets back on her feet, looks around one more time before approaching Abria.
You see, as you kind of look out at the surrounding area, the same building that you were brought to the first time, this communal kind of meeting place, you see standing on the stepped out onto the front balcony, the porch of that place that's elevated. You see Zoya, so like the leader from this place, whose sister was that. And you do see her watching you as you kind of do this, not interrupting in any way or not even acknowledging until you take a look around and just give you a little bit of a head nod as you look around.
And Camiel nods back, but she doesn't say anything other than what she had just already said to the grave, and she just walks back.
Okay. Is there anything else anyone would like to do before you guys take out into the jungle?
I assume they don't have a shop here.
You ask your counterpart there, and he does tell you that they do have a worksmith and they do have some trading, and he has things if you're wanting to trade.
That's all right. Actually, we're planning on leaving fairly soon, aren't we? So he won't worry about anything. If we're planning on leaving soon, he's fine. We're just leaving. Start cleaning up.
I'm topped up on ingredients. I don't know. What about Emmy? I don't know. Wizards need more components than I do.
Yeah, you got when you had left left Ropeburg, you had gotten everything for your trip into the mountains.
Yeah.
And you had planned on at least 2 to 3 weeks worth of supplies. It did take you like a week and a half to be able to get from the fort to. Oh yeah, you did top off at the fort, and it did take you about a week and a half from the fort onward. So yeah, you should be okay.
Yeah, as far as like any kind of spell materials, I don't think she needs anything additional because she hasn't copied any scrolls or anything like that.
Okay.
Like one left over from which she and Boltzmann had shared. She and Alexander.
First name basis, huh?
They've been like that from the start, since Dante awkwardly introduced them.
No, Dante created an awkward situation.
They both created an awkward situation. It was fantastic.
He introduced an awkward man. He was anything but awkward in that situation. Thank you.
It was bound to happen then.
So, as you guys are discussing and talking and preparing and gathering whatever you need to gather, you do see Maximilian kind of scratching at his chin a little bit. So, she said the Shrine of the Makers, and that was southeast of here.
That's the way.
The only thing in that area is really the MacLeod tribe. Some of that's uncharted just because of who they are. That's some dangerous guys, head shrinkers, voodoo. Yeah, it could be in there. It definitely could be in the area. It could be something with them.
It's certainly in the area. It's just a matter of what's in our way.
It's a good way to look at it.
Mm-hmm.
Will they talk? Do they trade?
Not typically. They don't really care for the outsiders. But if there's something specific you're looking for, maybe, it just depends. You bring the right offering and you never know. We'll figure that out.
We'll bring them a giant half dinosaur, half dragon.
If you could figure out the logistics on that.
It's all right. Bran is an animal wrangler. He just points to Addie. He's very good with animals.
That is a fine owlbear you got there.
Just watch your fingers.
Well, if we're all ready to go, everyone else ready?
I suppose so. If Camille has already done all she needed to do at this area.
Camille's actually outside, just looking in and just waiting for them.
You do notice as you kind of look around, Cam, you do see some of the other houses. You see blinds kind of move a little bit whenever you walk by.
Jesus.
The forest has eyes.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So as you gather your things once more after a broken night's rest, but still full, now almost midday after the events of everything here in the village, you guys take off, following Maximilian's lead, and head into the dense jungle. The canopy again rolling back in front of you, revealing the outside world. And as you guys step out, that is where we will come back next week and try to track down a half dragon, half T-Rex.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Dragon
We're
Rex.
starting with that part of it.
Insert T-Rex noise.
Uh-oh.
I don't have a specific
Feed the dragon?
one,
Feed the dragon.
but
Don't forget to feed the dragon.
It's hungry.
all right. All right. Thank you, everybody, for our followers and supporters this week. Sallybot Radio, thank you again for your subscription. The Juicy, thank you for your subscription yesterday. And then for the follows this week, Sallybot, thank you for the follow. Coffee Baron, thank you for the follow 3 days ago. And Funk Gnome 3 days ago. I think we were all playing Stellaris, but thank you again for your support this week. We really do appreciate. It is a very good feeling to be able to grow the community. If you missed any part of this episode, the VOD will be available immediately on Twitch, but they do not stay there forever. If you want to catch up on any of our previous episodes of the campaign, the link to our YouTube is below. Search Black Dragon RP and look for our big Dragon Eye logo. Last thing before we go, I want to take a moment to shout out our players. In the info blocks below, you will see some links. Go check out these wonderful people. Some of them have links to their Twitters, like RPG Theologian Rob, who plays Saoirse, The Relentless Hunter, Aaron, who plays Branimir, Throwaway Doodles, Ellen, who plays Bulletsman, some who stream here on Twitch, like Thumperknox, Ryan, who I apologize greatly to for today's shenanigans,
More than that.
who plays Dante, and Yumi Segura Tony, who plays Camiel, and Brenna, who streams on the Bryn Nailed It channel and plays Amuvi. I am Brad. I'm known as Monocle Moose on all platforms. Go check us out. Please go to the info box below and click the links to say hi to us there. That wraps up this episode from us. Thank you all very much for being here. We will see you here again next week. Same time, same Twitch channel. We love you very much, and goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.